My friends, the great experiment.
Strange new world.
Hidden trick.
Would you look at that?
The greatest trick.
And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
The greatest trick.
Welcome to Greatest Trek. It's a new Star Trek podcast from the makers of The Greatest Generation. I'm Ben Harrison.
I'm Adam Pranica.
Adam, I'm not much of a numerology guy, but I couldn't help but notice that this is episode 334 of Greatest Trek and season 3, episode 4 of Strange New Worlds.
Please make this a thing. That's great.
Couldn't help but notice as I was putting my file together for this record.
You got that right, dude.
Fucking nailed it. How you doing, bud?
Ben, we're less than a week away from Star Trek Las Vegas, and if we don't have a plan for what we're doing, we might not have one at this point. How do you feel about it going in?
You know me, Adam. I'm a build the plane as we're flying it kind of guy, and I fucking love this shit.
It's one of the things that makes us such an effective team in so many ways.
Yeah, one of us knows how to fly the plane and the other doesn't.
It's a nightmare for both of us that way.
Yeah, but I've observed like dad on a work trip away from his family often means dangerously drunk guy in my friends and colleagues in the past, you know? Like we've seen this at Max FunCon when people went on their nerd room springas and, you know, like uked into the fucking standing shower stall instead of the tub because they got so out of control drunk that they thought that a bunch of chunks getting waffle stomped down the floor drain was probably better.
Jesus.
This is your roommate, not mine.
Yeah, I mean, are you saying that to say that this could be your future? Because you don't have to be a dad away from his kids to overindulge. You're living proof.
It's true. I'm just saying, like, it could be that kind of week for me. I don't know. 6 nights.
Wow.
You know?
I will be your wingman, but not your babysitter, dude. Time to strap it up tight.
I'm not going to know where you are most of the time.
Yeah.
You'll be up partying with Dr. Star Trek. I'll be wandering around the Rio, wondering.
Just hearing you say that first part does make me think about just how much we're going to be out in the Star Trek streets for days and days with folks, and how I've got to admit, like, when we go out on tour and do shows, like all the way from when we get onto the scene to when we load in to when we, you know, run tech to doing the show to cleaning up after, like, it is exhausting to be on and to know that you need to be on as a performer. And as I look at the week ahead, I'm not afraid of this and I'm not nervous about it, but I'm looking at it as like a great challenge. Like, totally. I have got to be on for 6 nights and 7 days.
Yeah, I mean, I think there will be times when you can take some time off. You know,
those will be the times where you can't find me.
Yeah, and there will be times when you can't find me for the same reasons. But this is a different version of going to the con than we've ever done because we're going to have a booth. Like, we will be findable in a way that we are not when we're on tour.
There's usually an escape.
I was listening to a podcast this morning with some comic book authors on it, and they discussed a phenomenon that I had never heard before. I'd heard of booth babes, but I'd never heard of booth barnacles. And this is the idea of someone who does not want to leave your booth. Like, they come over to say hi, and then they just never stop being there.
Ben, we need to bring a sticker that we can slap on people who have become booth barnacles.
Yeah. Or maybe like people get like a spray bottle to like shoo their cat away if they start scratching on the sofa, like maybe a little squirt gun or something.
I think we're going to have that technology totally sharp by day 3. I think. We're going to know exactly what to do. We are going to be at a weakened and bewildered state those first 2 days, not knowing how exactly to deal with barnacles.
I love the idea that we get more powerful as the con goes on.
Oh, yeah.
So by the time we're at Pranica Cabana, we are like beings of pure energy.
I think part of what gives me that confidence is knowing that we're going to be kind of a Katamari Damacy of Uxbridge Shimoda. Like as the days go on, oh, a Wynde's going to join us. Oh, a Bill is coming on this day. Eventually we're going to be at nearly full strength. Yeah. And like Brie Belke has volunteered to do some booth time. Like some FODs have come out of the woodwork and have been like, hey, I'll give you guys breaks if you need to go take them. In a way that's like, hell yeah, FODs are the best.
That is very true. FODs are the best. Brie Belke chief among them.
Yeah. Like imagine how much happier someone's going to be to see Brie Belke behind our booth than me.
Oh, a friendly person. Cool.
Hey, let me know when Brie's going to be here. Let me know when you're going on break, Adam.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Brie winds up getting all of the barnacles.
I really hope that our booth is next to someone fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like if we're next to Dr. Star Trek or something, that would be cool.
Oh, Dr. Star Trek is not ready for the roasts that will be coming.
If we're next to Garrett Wong, like how fucking great would that be?
That would rule.
I lasted 22 minutes.
He's going to steal all our shit.
Yeah, he would steal our shit and then just keep it. He wouldn't even sell it, you know.
I want to be clear, props are what he would steal.
Yeah.
Because he's insatiable about props.
He was stating the obvious again.
He would see our nub and bug mold and be like, I gotta have it, but it's gotta be broken.
Yeah. Who else is on your list of neighbors you want?
I mean, Frakes would be nice because it would be quiet.
Oh.
You know, or at least I would.
I won't say anything to you either. I think that's probably the best bet.
I'll sit on the side next to Frakes. That's my pledge to you. I'll get you out of that.
I'd appreciate that, yeah. I mean, we've been friendly with Mary Wiseman over the years.
Hell yeah. We have so many friends that we'd like to be sat next to, Ben. Here's my prediction. Our booth next to improbably 2 emergency exit doors on either side.
Like, there hasn't been a bathroom in the merch hall, but there is this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I was thinking they could put us with other Star Trek podcasts, which I feel like...
Do they want a podcast fight there?
I mean...
Why would they do that?
I was going to say, like, I think, like, instinctively, I'm like, no, don't want to be next to them. But then I'm like, oh, maybe it's good. Maybe it's like the fur district, you know? Like, there's that one street in town where you can go to buy furs and it works out for everyone that way. Like,
given the proliferation of Manscaped ads on podcasts, I think the fur district is a little too much.
If Manscaped ever wanted us to produce like a vanity imprint podcast for them, like 12 episodes about pube maintenance, we're ready to go to series with the fur district.
I think your original idea is intriguing.
Tawny Newsom's got to have a booth, right? Are we going to be next to Tawny Newsom? That'd be cool.
It'd be great. Yeah. If only we had any kind of pull about how this works. We are totally at the mercy.
We really are.
Of creation entertainment here. If Ryan doesn't sit us next to Tawny, he hates us. That's what I think.
I think Ryan has grudging respect for us, but it sits atop a well of hatred. You know?
I am so curious about if Wynde's going to edit that out.
How about no?
I think what's going on is Anne-Marie is telling Ryan, like, this show is good and people like it. We got to have them involved in some small way. And Ryan is like, all right, fine, you know.
What I like about the years that we've spent at Star Trek Las Vegas, one of the aspects of it is that we have turned strangers and folks that we were unsure of initially into folks that are friends.
Totally.
And Ryan and folks involved in the festival, like, I would constitute as some of them. Like, it's fun to be pals with Dr. Star Trek at this thing, for example. Like, it's fun to see these people once a year and party with them and talk about what a bizarre life this is, like being part of the Star Trek community in the way that we are, you know?
being barnacles on the Star Trek community in the way that we are.
Oh, shit.
Oh, we were the barnacles the whole time, Adam.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh, God!
And alien barnacles.
That's what I was trying to do. You heard it.
I heard it. It's unmistakable. It's the only thing I ever think about.
That might be my strongest impression. Oh, God.
Oh, God!
I didn't get all the way through it, but the other night I started Alien Romulus, which I hadn't seen yet.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very scary, and the way I was getting through the scary parts was making myself laugh by going, oh, God.
They do neat things with zero gravity in that movie. Oh, did you finish it? I should have asked if you finished it before I said that.
No, but I got to gravity isn't always going to be on as a premise. Yeah, I mean, that's early in the movie.
Way to go past halfway, man.
Yeah.
Really mean that.
Who knows if I'll get back in there.
You're a real just the tip movie watcher, aren't you?
Yeah. What did the leper say to the prostitute? The same thing Ben said to the ticket taker at the movie theater.
Wow. I'm doing that beautiful mind thing where I'm looking into the middle distance and then like the math is playing out on my screen. The math of that joke.
Yeah.
No remainders. It's really good.
Yeah, it all worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Adam, speaking of really good, do you want to get into another episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds?
I really do. It's Star Trek Strange New World Season 3, Episode 4, A Space Adventure Hour.
You know the greatest danger facing us is an irrational fear of the unknown.
The game's afoot.
Ben, I watched this episode without knowing who was involved, who was its writers or directors. 5 minutes in, I guess this was the Frakes episode.
Yeah. It's the Frakes episode.
Yeah.
Fun cold open. The knockoff TOS vibes are incredibly strong.
Fire Photonos beams at them!
There's an old episode of this show where we went through all the times SNL parodied Star Trek. And I think, like SNL's budget for sets now is not what it was in like the 80s or whatever. But like they fucking ate and left no crumbs when they made this set. Like they did not hold back on the lighting or the costumes or the vibes. Like they tweaked the sound so it sounds like it was mic'd in the 70s or the 60s. Like it is a simulacrum of an era of television that is so much better than anything we have ever gotten before.
You're right about all those details, up to and including this one. The editing of this scene is fantastic. The way that they purposefully don't match takes and body positions for where our different actors are.
Yeah.
In that editing for comedy kind of way. I really loved how this was cut together.
Got it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So this is a scene where a Kirk simulacrum played by the guy that is playing Kirk doing a Shatner impression, which is also like a very subtle impression in that it is very Shatnery, but it is not like Family Guy Shatner impression. It is like his own personal take on Shatner. He's not doing an impression of an impression, is what I'm saying.
Well, I think that's one of the things we liked about Paul Wesley's Kirk very early on was that it was so restrained.
Yeah.
The Shatner in it was so restrained.
Yeah.
This is a version of that. Like if you turned it all the way up,
right.
Like past 10, this is what that is.
We're all children of the cosmos.
It is Shatner on 11, and it's a scenario where there's like the communications officer and the doctor, and they want to talk to the Egonians. I would say that maybe like the one place this stumbles a little bit is that the Egonian costume is a little too janky for my taste. Like the Gorn costume in TOS is silly, but it is not this silly.
You don't think they're painting out the strings in the 60s?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, anyways, that's an Egonian, and there's some shit about how Egonian radiation causes a disease, and the Egonians are all about stealing human brain cells to cause more of this disease. Doesn't matter too much.
Jess Bush being directed into underbutt for the entire scene. Big fun. I was trying to figure out who Melissa Navia was being directed as, like as a character archetype. And I thought it might be Riker.
Oh, that's interesting. I was getting Bones vibes from...
Sure, because her character's the Doctor.
Yeah, but I do like Riker as a pull. Like, because I think that one thing that happens a lot in this episode is that it is grabbing the vibes of Star Trek and Star Trek lore without being a specific, like we are making a comment on a specific person or thing in Star Trek lore.
It seems like they're making a comment about the San Diego Padres baseball team because the USS Adventure is brown and yellow. Extremely brown and yellow.
Uh-huh. You know what it is. Brown and yellow, brown and yellow, brown and yellow.
Great ship name, straight out of Master and Commander in my mind. Love a USS Adventure.
I loved the black scuffs on the base of the captain's chair. Like seeing the set is a little fucked up and used.
Yeah.
Great little thing.
That's not where this homage ends. We get a theme for a show called The Last Frontier with its own Lord's Prayer.
To go further and bolder than anyone ever before.
A incredibly accurate homage to the original series opening here with all the flybys and the credits and the font work and so forth.
I thought it was so good how willing they were to let that be slow and boring the way the TOS opening credits are.
It's almost like that thing in comedy where like the repetition in Rule of Threes makes that funny in the same way that like you go so long it becomes funny again. Like funny becomes not funny after a minute, becomes extremely funny after 2 minutes, you know?
And then when it comes to our show, then it goes back to being not funny.
Yeah.
You know.
I had a question about this episode's relationship to the Black Mirror USS Callister episode. Because I think that represents, up until this point, like the high water mark of this kind of homage. If you can't do it better than USS Callister, I don't know if you make this episode. Like, you must be fully committed to the idea in the way that they are here.
Right. Like, your band should not do a cover unless your band can fucking crush the cover and put their own spin on it.
And it's sort of the thing, like, it's the ceiling that USS Callister ran into. Like, USS Callister could not use the IP in the way that Star Trek actually can.
That is the superpower, but also, like, self-parody is notoriously hard to do. And I think that they get the tone right in this. Once the opening credits for a show that we're not watching are over, we are in Strange New Worlds again. And it is a La'an's log about how the entrepreneur is here studying a neutron star, but she has been given a separate but equal task. Which is turn of phrase that I was like, come on, La'an. Like, as the product of eugenics, you should not be dropping shit like that, even if it's a personal log.
Yeah. In the ready room, Pike and Una have assigned La'an the testing of the new holodeck technology. And it's actually really good that coincidentally they're studying the neutron star at the same time because they want this shakedown to be representative of what a real-life challenge a holodeck would face. Like a ship needs to dedicate resources to mission shit. Can you do holodeck stuff at the same time?
Right. We're not like going nose to nose with Romulans this week, but this is not a Mickey Mouse mission. Like the ship will be doing real shit. So we're going to test the holodeck in that context. And I really liked the discussion of like how simulators like this work, how they use huge amounts of power and computer resources, but also that La'an is specifically super good at them because she has had to face these things in her training as a security officer, and she is fucking great in this context. So they're like, bring your A game, like make it rain in there. Like we want to see what using the holodeck to its greatest capacity in a real mission context looks like from a ship operability standpoint.
She's basically told to trash the hotel room once she's done in there, and she takes that as a challenge. We cut over to Spock's quarters, where it's dance training time. Teaching Spock to dance also represents a great challenge, I guess.
Mm-hmm. He's gotten a little bit better, though, I have to say. Like, he throws on a tango playlist, and, like, he's giving her notes this time.
Eyes up, Lieutenant.
What the hell?
You told me the eyes were the anchor of the tango. Are they not?
Something very apparent about this scene that made me think about my time in school dances when I was growing up, like in middle school and high school. You know, you go to these things with a date, and then you also go in a group of friends, was my experience. And
only the second and also third by myself scenarios ever happened to me.
You went by yourself?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man.
I mean, I saw friends there, but I didn't like go with a group most of the time, I would say.
So you don't have a collection of pictures where you've like got a girl wearing a corsage and you've got a boutonniere and you've like got photographs and like the whole thing? You didn't like do dance like that?
We didn't have a prom at my school.
What?
Like, we had junior formal and senior formal, but they weren't the same, I don't think.
Why not? Because some kids had to have asked that question. Like, why don't we get one of those?
Too weird of a school, probably.
Huh. Anyway, I'll describe this in a way that you can understand as someone who might not have experienced something like this. But
yeah,
like,
just, you know, like one of the many ways in which I am fucking weird.
There's your date that you go with that you may or may not be romantically interested in. And the dance with that person is very different than the dance with your friends, which would involve a lot of conversation. When you dance with friends, you're talking a lot, at least in my experience. And that was one of the ways that you could knock down any sort of like idea that this is romantic. If you're just dancing to the song in silence, moving your bodies together, that can be like seen as a way that maybe it isn't. And when I see La'an...
And it's easier to ignore the fact that your boner is poking at her through your jeans.
Sure. When
you're talking about like, oh, you seen anything good on TV lately?
You also wore jeans to these dances. That's another good data point. That's great. When I see Spock and La'an talk here, it makes me think of those times where like, yeah, you're dancing and you're talking because this is not a romantic dance. This is a social dance.
Right. But there is energy between them. Like, despite neither of them really wanting to admit this, there's energy between them. And
they're both really good dancers also.
Yeah. Yeah. Spock has been practicing his ass off, and they're going for a high degree of difficulty dance. There's a clip show device on her neck, and we learn that this is to prep the computer for her simulation when she goes and does it. And they're talking, it kind of seems like they're about to maybe like turn this lesson to a tango lesson as a horizontal mambo lesson, when La'an gets an idea for what she wants the holodeck story to be. And she runs off because she said the phrase Amelia Moon novel.
They arrive at this after running through the possibilities of what would make a good first test for the holodeck. And I think it's totally great and natural that murdering folks and fucking were on the list of great use cases for the holodeck. Like, they just straight out say it.
The fucking gun was in my throat!
Yeah, this is the shit that humans are interested in. And in discussing it with Scotty, she is like, okay, like, this is what I want it to be. He was like, yeah, we got like a whole bunch of these books in the database, so we can run our LLM with that as its training. It'll come up with a scenario for you. One thing, we're going to have to use real people that have used our transporter system to create the characters, because that's the only high enough resolution character models that we have right now.
How important was this point in the world building for this episode? I thought it was absolutely key. It was great.
Yeah. Good piece of information.
It could not be a flimsy reason to have these actors play these characters.
I thought that the writing of this scene in particular felt very interesting in a post-ChatGPT world where we're all kind of learning about how like our rudimentary version of the holodeck could work. Like its probability and shit it can steal from other things that helps it create the illusion of the thing it's trying to create the illusion of. And this writing felt very informed by the world we're living in a way that, you know, a TNG holodeck episode's writing could not be. And it felt like a new and interesting take on it from that standpoint.
I mean, speaking of TNG holodeck episodes, when we step into that orange grid holodeck waiting room that we're familiar with from the 24th century, it kind of makes sense that this aspect of the technology would not need to be updated. Like, the waiting room is conveyed culturally for many, many years. Like, this is the space where you wait and turn on the thing. Why would it change? Why would it have to?
Yeah, I mean, they did change it in like DS9 and Voyager and made it like there's way more like repeating technical objects all over the walls. And I thought it was a great choice to like go like, no, we're like orthodox TNG on our depiction of the holodeck. And the order that she's given the computer is very similar to the order that Data gives the computer famously, which is like, make a mystery that I will find challenging.
Yeah. Make me a costume that would look absurd on anyone else besides me. I think could also be that order, because like when La'an walks in looking like Carmen Sandiego here, I think in another actor's hands, this could be a laugh out loud moment, but it was not. I took her seriously the whole time.
It is so on its face silly and yet dignified in her performance that there's like profound tension in this character that she's playing.
You remember when they did this in Picard and they like distributed pimp hats and shit? Like, that's too far. They pulled it back for this episode in a way that's actually effective.
The illusion presents itself and we're in a Gilded Age mansion, and La'an's character Amelia meets Uhura's character, Hollywood power agent Jodie Gloss, who has brought Amelia to this mansion to solve the murder of Kill Tony.
She's found a body, Ben.
Yes.
Do we know who Tony Hart is played by? I couldn't quite clock his face.
Oh yeah, maybe because it's a corpse. It isn't somebody that's been through the transporter.
I wondered if this was Sam Kirk.
Oh,
but I couldn't quite like his head is kind of like off to the side.
Yeah.
Couldn't quite get a good look at him.
Yeah, like there's ligature marks around the neck of this guy, but there's like two parallel lines, and so that's an interesting clue. And we learn from Jodie that her clients are all, you know, Hollywood types whose names will be dragged through the mud if the mystery isn't solved before the police arrive, because the police are all on the take and the press will pay them for all these stories. So, yeah, she's going to start to see if she can't figure out what's going on. And we get like nice pans over all of the clues. There's like a bracelet, there's a film reel, there's the corpse, there's one of those like manila envelopes that is closed by like winding a piece of string around a little nubbin.
Yeah, intercompany mail style.
Yeah, inter-office memo. Yeah, and we don't get to see what is in there, but it's some kind of glossy photograph of something. And then Amelia goes and confronts the guests, and these are like key people in the creation of the Last Frontier show that we saw in the cold open. So there's the show's creator, played by Captain Pike, and the producer, played by Una, and then like the lead cast, who we've already mentioned. Oh, and Dr. Mbengo plays like the boyfriend of the Jess Bush character. So it's got like Clue and Knives Out energy, like a lot of detective monologuing to a bunch of colorful characters about what's going on.
A costume department aggressively skating toward an award with what's going on in this episode. Really, really fantastic work from that department.
The greatest trek is yet to come.
There's a motive on the table. This must be about the Last Frontier television program being on the chopping block. It is a show that is getting canceled, which kind of stung to watch in this world where we are finding out that the 5th season of this show will be truncated because Paramount doesn't want to shell out for any more of this good show that lots of people like.
Canceled, but we're a hit.
Yeah, just to hit pause on that moment for a second. The meta aspects of a lot of these descriptions, they feel very grounded in reality, but what's so useful about the reality they're describing is that in this context, you could say that it's in the past.
Right.
But if you're watching the show right now, I think you could presume some accuracy with what they're talking about being very present in the now.
Yeah. What a weird, I can't imagine that anyone in the writer's room got any heads up about season 5 of this show at the time that they are writing this particular script,
Yeah.
you know?
Time is a flat circle, man. It's the same shit.
And it's the way this industry works. So a story about a mid-century television show going through some bullshit like this is always going to hit. And it's just luck of the draw. So yeah, our first monologue starts to turn toward Sonny Lupino, the actress turned producer character that Una Chin Riley is inhabiting, because there's I wasn't really sure why this was a clue, but there was a martini glass with Max Factor lipstick on it, and
It was a clue because it was near the bathroom where the body was found.
oh, was it? Okay. For some reason I thought she picked it up in this room, so I was like, what? Who cares? What do you mean? Yes, somebody in here was drinking. They all were.
What can I say? I'm a trendsetter.
Her motivation seems pretty legit, right? Not only is there the issue of the glass and the lipstick, but she's accused of taking a loan out from the mob, and she's extremely over-leveraged because of how deeply she cares about the survival of the show.
Right. She needs to pay the mob back and also loves the show. And that was what the thing in the manila envelope was a photo of her dealing with a bunch of unsavory looking characters in suits. And they're just starting to sort of clear this up because she's like, no, I didn't take money from the mob. I sold the house that I used to live in with Tony, the dead guy, because I believe in this script so much.
Very important that she's able to get this out before she dies. In the very next moment, she collapses after choking, after taking a drink out of her martini glass. And it's as soon as she makes it clear that she's not the murderer, RSVP Sonny Lupino. And this represents an iteration to the program that's really interesting, right? This is an increase in difficulty. So in the next room, La'an blows in a call to Scotty, and she's like, hey, I thought I had this one solved, and I don't, and it just got hard. What do you think about pairing me up with a partner? And there's no one really available except for Spock.
Yeah, we also learned from Scotty in that scene that the power demands have been really high. But yeah, the holodeck seems to be, given her skills of an investigator and everything else, really throwing curveballs at her. So Spock shows up in uniform, and I think crucially we hear but do not see the door to the ship open and close as he enters. And he is here ready to Spockily assist her in this mystery.
He is not welcomed by the group in the parlor with open arms. They dunk on him over and over again.
Yeah.
Before we get back to Enterprise and Sickbay, where Dr. Mbenga tells Una that the load on the power systems is creating issues for kind of a lot of departments around the ship.
And Una's like, you jacked off on the power systems? Ugh!
Alarms are going off in the computer lab, coincidentally, and those alarms suggest that the holodeck is the reason why. A sensory overload.
Yeah. Scotty is really struggling here.
Yeah, this is another opportunity to punch Pelia in the nuts, a character not in this episode that is receiving a dunking repeatedly from folks.
I'm familiar with Pelia's infamous logs.
Last episode, it was she doesn't like meetings, so she just no-showed. And this episode, she's on shore leave. And it's like, okay, we get it. Carol Kane is not available for every time you shoot an episode of Strange New Worlds. Either make a bit of why she's not there or don't. Like,
that's what this is, though.
I feel like shore leave is not enough for it to be a bit. Like, it should be like, Pelia's at the Batleth Championships or something, What this does do is thrust Scotty to the center of a problem to solve. And this is now going to be a couple episodes in a row where he gets that role. Scotty assures Una that everything's going to be okay. He's on top of this. He's getting right on that, Rose. Yeah.
And things are going to be all right. And this seems to satisfy Una's challenge here in this moment.
So back in the simulation, we go through like a series of interviews with the various cast and crew of this program, starting with Paul Wesley, doing, not on camera Shatner impression now. We learned that there was a secretary who both the dead studio boss and he were both having a dalliance with, but it ended and he's like, that's just how it is with secretaries around here. Like, we do secretaries and, nobody asks any questions. This is Hollywood, baby.
Yeah. Secretary swapping, fairly commonplace. So jealousy removed from the table is a motive.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about the conversation as it happens in the room is that Maxwell Saint, the star of the show, is like, interesting that you're such an observer of affections for people because I think you two have a little bit of a thing. And in an unsolicited way, he's like, what's going on with y'all? I'm not the only one with weird entanglements romantically.
Yeah.
And they turned down that possibility right away.
They sure do. We're now questioning the Jess Bush character. I love the idea that she could tell that the show was not doing well because the hemline of her skirt was getting shorter and shorter.
And I love hearing Jess Bush's natural accent. Like her actual Australian drawl, I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
As a choice here.
I'm good at what I do.
She's a cool character because she's like, I know that I'm like the sex object of this show, but I'm actually like a serious professional that takes acting seriously, and I'm surrounded by bozos, like the Shatner analog over there. And I am very conscious of the fact that like my skirt getting shorter is a sign that the show is playing to more and more prurient interests in me. But like, I'm actually here as like a credible and intelligent person and not the thing that is being objectified on TV screens.
But like the biggest point she has to make is that like Sunny was my strongest advocate in that area. Like, why would I kill her?
Yeah.
She was my biggest champion as a serious person. So that removes her from the list of suspects too. Her boyfriend, Anthony McBow, is next. And he says he didn't have any reason to kill Sunny either because he has an artist's heart, just like she had.
Yeah. This is the Mbenga character. And also doing a little bit of an accent. He like Britished up his accent a little bit for this character. And his whole thing is like helping everyone unleash the artistic beast. He just doesn't seem like the type.
Lee Woods, the doctor character in the show, is the next to be interviewed, and hers is intercut with Anthony McBow's. We learn that she's a writer in her own right, of Western specifically, and what's interesting about this particular genre is that is the genre of script that was found with the dead body.
Yeah, and specifically found with the dead body with the cover sheet ripped off. We keep coming back to this screenplay where there's clearly been a page removed from the front of it.
Right.
Hey! Cheaters don't deserve Nausicaa and Latinum!
This ship and her history will shortly become the care of another crew. They will continue
the voyage just really begun.
The greatest trek.
We also meet the Pike character, who's the showrunner, who had a real fun wig, let's just say. Like, probably the funnest character design of all of these, for my money.
I think as loud as the wig is for him, his choices as an actor are just as loud.
Yeah. Yeah. He is playing this for comedy in a way that I feel like really shows off some of the range Anson Mount has. Like, this is a big, risky swing, and I think he does a great job with it.
Yeah, I really love his performance in this episode a lot. I mean, the wig isn't the only thing physical with him. I think they put prosthetic teeth in his mouth, and he also has a great big pot belly in addition to those giant frame glasses. There's so much detail to what he's wearing and what he's doing, and the vocal inflections he chooses as an eccentric creator. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is too specific to just be from a blank sheet of paper. I feel like Anson Mount knows this person somehow, and he's like doing that person in this way. If not, like it's really amazing no matter what, but I really wonder who is the inspiration here.
The thought that came to mind, and it might be just based on the hair, is Michael Chabon. Like, clearly this is supposed to be Gene Roddenberry, but also kind of felt Michael Chabon-y to me. And I wondered, I mean, Shatner's been done a million times as like a character that has impressions done of him. And so like William Shatner is walking around in a world where like dozens and dozens of comedians have undertaken to create a Shatner impression. And that's not really true of Michael Chabon or Gene Roddenberry. You know, like I haven't seen enough footage of Gene Roddenberry speaking. And like you and I both have been in a room with Michael Chabon, but I also like don't have like a good enough sense of what he is like to know if this is directly an impression. Mm-hmm. But like with the Kirk thing, I was like, it's pretty racy for Star Trek to be like almost roasting Shatner in this. I was like, oh, is Star Trek saying like, go fuck yourself to Michael Chabon in this?
Oh, I don't know if I believe that. The thing that we learn about TK Bellows in this scene is that, yeah, he feels bad about the show being canceled, but there's also a little bit of relief that comes with that. And it's the relief that I think gets him off of the hook for having any motivation to kill, right? Like, He's not really threatened by the idea of a Western script. He's looking forward to working in movies, specifically after television. Like, this may just be a stepping stone for him.
Yeah, there's a motion picture directing contract in his future, and he is not necessarily murder to save the show attached to anything that they're doing. Fun name for a writer to be TK.
Afterwards, La'an and Spock post-game these interviews when a chandelier nearly crushes them to death.
Yeah. Spock actually has to pull Amelia from under this chandelier when it comes down. And they were discussing the fact that there was no title page on the script that they found in the, at the scene of the crime. And that might indicate some kind of like, oh, they're going to steal the script and not pay Lee for it.
But La'an is bleeding from the face.
Yeah. And Spock like wipes this drop of blood, and they realize what this means is that the safeties are off. The program has like gone off the rails. Like the holodeck is not working as designed because you're not supposed to be able to like draw blood in there. So they try turning it off. They try asking for the arch. None of that works. And we get a very like, just in case anybody hasn't watched Star Trek before, can we just get La'an to say what the stakes are right here? Kind of studio note moment.
We can't shut it off. The program could actually hurt us, and we can't get out.
Indeed.
We are screwed.
I love the sequence of going from this moment to the side of the bridge where Scotty hits up Uhura about the problems he's having communicating with La'an, and that he can't shut the simulation down, he can't talk to La'an, and he can't like bust in by force either. And I wondered how much of Star Trek V was in this moment. Like, I think we talked a lot about the pseudo romance between these two characters in that movie, the implied relationship that they might have had off screen before the events of the movie took place.
Right.
And this is maybe just me with the recency bias of that film, but like, it feels like for as dangerous as the stakes are, there is like a jocular flirtation happening between them where like, yeah, he's being a doof, but yeah, she's also going to take care of him. And there's that caretaker relationship. That's the relationship you see in Star Trek V between them. He
is the like absent-minded professor character, and she is like somewhat charmed by this. Like, yeah. Like when he says the thing about like, that the hypothetical scenario he was posing wasn't actually hypothetical, and she like pats him on the chest, like it's a very flirty move.
This isn't Barclay fucking up and Uhura kicking him in the nuts, Like the vibe is totally different here.
Can we just say, does Scotty have tism rizz? Is that what's going on here?
I'm ready to co-sign that.
Yeah, I think he does.
Inside the simulation, Spock and La'an are now in agreement that death is on the table for them, but not if they solve this mystery. Solving the mystery constitutes winning the game. And then the credits roll. You get that, like, when you beat a video game, you get, like, the credits of all the folks that designed it.
Oh, I don't need to see who did the localization for Hungarian. That's fine. I can skip to the... Can I skip to... I can't skip to the title page again? No? I have to watch this whole thing?
The main character of Metroid was a girl? What? So once they agree that these are the rules of the game, they observe TK Bellows and the cast of the show arguing amongst each other. And where's Lee Woods? She's dead.
Yeah.
Stabbed in the back, and Jodie Gloss is in the room with her. That's not a good look.
No. Jodie is suspect number one, but they're like, okay, so like, maybe you were the one behind this. And she's like, no, I really believed in this show. And she gives the endorsement of Star Trek that we've always wanted a character in Star Trek to give.
As much of a meta commentary the whole cancellation subject was a few scenes ago, this is double the power of that.
Yeah. It was an interesting one because, like, I mean, I thought that the Una character, Sonny Lupino, like a little bit based on Lucille Ball, like, using Desilu to like make sure that Star Trek got made, kind of felt like it was getting referenced here. But like, yeah, Jodie Gloss felt like a version of a character that I haven't heard of in the Star Trek story. Like all of the agents and managers that had to believe in this thing to make it happen. It was an interesting angle.
The greatest trick.
There's a fireplace in this room, and in the fire is a bunch of celluloid film, and it is determined to be the murder weapon, and also a recording, but of something that they aren't sure of. Ben, make sure I die by celluloid film. That just sounds great. That's how I want to go out.
I love this. What a fucking great gimmick for a whodunit. Yeah. So they're like looking at this film and they're like, it's not just a film reel. It's also something that the murderer wanted to destroy. And they threw it in this fire, not realizing that this was a real fireplace, and left. So with that hanging in the air, we cut back to the ship where a gamma burst from the neutron star has just erupted, and they are confronted with this massive power drain right when they need to get out of harm's way. And they're talking to Scotty about it, and they're like, can you just turn off the holodeck because we need all that juice to get the fuck out of the way of this explosion? And Scotty's like, no, like all of the tractor beams and computer processing and everything, like I said earlier, it will fuck the whole ship up if I just turn it off. So he can give them 30 seconds of acceleration to get out of harm's way.
This scene is in contrast to many of the others we've seen recently from Captain Pike, which is to say, like, coldly efficient and command worthy. I really loved how present and quickly oncoming the danger was. And for Pike to make his decisions quickly and go with the course of action was kind of a return to form for me. Like, it was good to see this out of him.
Yeah.
There was no panic.
No panic. Ortegas uses this 30 seconds of acceleration very effectively to get them out of harm's way. And Uhura, like, realizes something about what's going on in the holodeck, that the AI is blocking the comms because the AI is intentionally making the game hard for La'an to solve. Like if she can talk to people on the outside, that would give her an advantage. So the AI won't let her. And they need to get the message to her that, like, beating the game is the only way they can get all this power and processing back. And Scotty is going to have to convince the AI that he's also a character in the story to transmit that message.
This is a really elegant and efficient way to do it when we finally see the payoff, right? That Scotty needs to communicate with La'an in the real world of the holodeck program means that when La'an and Spock sit to watch the footage from the film reel, they're watching this cut, including the moments after cut is called, and then we see a phone call that TK Bellows has to take. It's very upsetting news.
Yeah.
And then the PA that gives him the phone turns toward the camera and is able to communicate with La'an and Spock in this scene to tell them basically what they already know.
Yeah, that was the one thing that kind of fell apart about this episode for me, was that wasn't actually important information.
Yeah.
You know, like, it was just a way to get Scotty into a funny polo shirt to, you know, shine a flashlight on his own face to talk to them.
I love that fucking polo shirt. I would wear it all the time.
It was a good polo shirt.
If only Garrett Wong didn't win the fucking auction for it by this point.
Yeah, why? It's so fucked up because, like, we're recording this before season 3 is even out, and they already had the prop and costume auction for season 3.
You know what? If our booth is next to his at Star Trek Las Vegas, I got some questions.
Yeah. We're making him take us back to his house to show us all his shit.
Is Garrett Wong using mob money to buy all of these props?
We should have a manila envelope with some evidence in it at our booth and just like tap on it and look over at him like, yeah, we know what you're up to.
No one likes the watching of a movie interrupted. And so TK walks in with a bottle and a handgun into the scene. He knows he's been caught. His motive for murder was that he was being replaced on the show he created. That's the phone call that we saw being taken on this film reel.
Right.
And the reason he's even at the mansion in the first place was to beg for his job back, and that sucks. So he's in like a very fragile and dangerous and desperate state.
Yeah, and he's drinking heavily. He's not making good decisions. And I like that La'an was like a little bit in the game and a little bit not in the game here. Because she's like, no, like, please put the gun down because it can actually hurt people. like drunk guy waving a pistol around is like, yeah, it can actually hurt people. Like, obviously, that's why I brought it.
Yeah.
He licks a shot that she lunges for the gun as he's aiming at Spock, and Spock gets grazed. TK runs off in embarrassment, and, you know, Spock is like, it's just a scratch or whatever. But as La'an is hugging him, we see something kind of like come over her eyes, like she's realized something about him. And she backs up and she's got the gun and she points it at him and accuses Spock of being the killer.
That's because she recalls telling the computer to create a scenario challenging enough for La'an, not necessarily challenging enough for Amelia, the detective.
Right.
Her character's based on. So bravo, she wins and the program is turned off. And with that, ship's power is completely restored.
Yeah, we get like a final report where she and Scotty do not recommend that this type of system be installed on active ships at this time. And at such time as it is, it's got to have its own power system and its own computer because you woof.
So that in times of distress, it can be a kind of sanctuary.
Well, it's got potential as long as it has those things.
Yeah, yeah. We got a little side chat between Una and Scott where she's like, hey, like, you know, good report, good meeting. You did great work today, but like it was very clear you needed help. And like this ship is full of smarty pants, best in their class, the academy types. Like you can't keep this stuff to yourself. Like if you're struggling, you got to work with other people.
At this point, I'm like, all right, you don't have to say the quiet part out loud, Strange New Worlds. Like, a lot of new Star Trek shows have blazed that territory very well up until now. Like, trust us as the viewer to get the subtext going on here, please.
Our final scene is La'an and Spock getting back on the dance floor together. Another dance lesson, and boy, does this one get steamy.
It's like the tango scene in True Lies. There's something about tango, huh?
It's really something.
Yeah.
She knew that wasn't Spock really in the simulation because of the way he looked at her. And, I mean, the subtext becomes text again. They have a great big smooch. Spock is going to fuck his way through this whole ship, isn't he?
Did you understand the way he described him, you know, as his reputation? Like, this is something that Spock agrees with. Like, yeah, people have said things like that about me.
Right.
I felt like part of what gave away the fact that this wasn't real Spock was the degree to which he didn't care about La'an. Is that obvious to you or untrue to you? Because when his shoulder's shot and La'an hugs him in that scene, there's that moment of recognition where she's finally put it together. But I feel like one of the gears of her putting it together is like, even Spock would care a little bit more than he's caring in these moments in this simulation. And that was the giveaway.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's it.
Okay.
I think, and sparks fly, man.
Yeah.
They wanted to kiss before, and now they did it.
Yeah. That's a good feeling for both of them. The end of the episode is a bunch of outtakes from the Last Frontier television show, complete with Frakes yelling stage directions from off screen. I thought that was really fun. There's a botched Riker maneuver that Paul Wesley does into the seat. There's just a whole lot of fun outtake stuff here. One of my favorite parts of watching Police Squad or Naked Gun was like their outtakes were written to be outtakes.
Yeah.
And I love that quality to this.
But that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Like when an outtake is written, it's either really, really good or really, really fucking bad.
Yeah.
And there's no middle ground, you know. And I thought that this was really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Like roasting Trek for all of the million times that there's been an outtake of an actor walking into a door that they were expecting to open for them. It just didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, that was big fun. But was the episode big fun? Ben, did you like it?
She'll always bring it home.
I had to say, like, I watched this one the first time, and it was like a little bit more of a like, oh, come on, this is just a warmed over holodeck episode from TNG, and we've seen this premise 10 million times, and if you're going to do it in a way that only Strange New Worlds can. And I think they do, but that doesn't really reveal itself until like the third act of the script. And so I didn't have a lot of time for this episode until what was interesting about it was revealed. And then watching it a second time, I was much more along for the ride. Like knowing what the twist was going to be felt reassuring the second time. So I wound up really liking it, but yeah, I thought it kind of sucked at first. I was like, oh, okay, this is like the first real clunker of the season.
Wow.
You know, like up until the 28-minute mark or something, and then I was like, oh, this is, they're actually sticking the landing on this in a way.
For my part, I've done my best to stop expecting Star Trek: The Next Generation when I watch new Star Trek. Like, it's never going to be like the way that it was. So why do I expect those feelings to get woken up in me? Like, this is its own thing. Stop comparing, stop expecting. But this episode made me feel like it was the most like a Star Trek: The Next Generation episode in all the best ways. They really nailed that feeling. And sure, it was mostly because it was a holodeck episode. it was also just because of the way, like, I think you could go too far with this concept and drive it straight into TNG sensibilities and like absolutely ape it. But like you said, it was really its own spin on the thing. And I think that made it really, really good. And it made me appreciate the La'an character in a way that maybe I haven't in the same way up until now.
Yeah.
She became really interesting when she decided to take a risk with Spock here. And I really don't know what's going to happen next in a very exciting way.
Yeah. Looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to our P1 inbox, Adam. Why don't we head over there?
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Promotional message here, Adam. Goes like this. Hi, I'm a Max Fun contributor and a big fan of GT. I found the pilot season episodes used to make time between Trek series were great, along with Hot Cylon Summer. I'm also a big fan of classic Doctor Who, having watched 70s and 80s episodes on PBS as a kid. I know you guys haven't had much success dipping your toes in Who, but what my theory presupposes is that using one-off DW stories as stopgaps with no promise of ever returning could be as much fun as introducing FODs to Darwin the Horny Dolphin. Wow. So the call to action here is episodes range from great to awful, fun either way. Most stories had 4 30-minute parts, so you could fill 1, 2, or 4 weeks as needed. Please consider Love the Pod. Dang.
All right, Mysterious JG. This is as polite and as kindly put as it can get in a P1 message. People who really love Doctor Who really love Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And this doesn't sound like the sort of Doctor Who fan that is crazy in the way that so many of them can be. You know, this is a light suggestion that I find palatable.
Yeah, part of the intimidation is like pissing off a fan base that is really protective of their special thing. And I know so little about Doctor Who. I just don't want to like go in there and watch an episode and be like, man, trash, you know.
Well, not only that, this is one of those things with like institutional knowledge among the nerds, where if you and I wander into a Doctor Who episode, we're asking all sorts of idiot questions that people who are super fans know all about. It's going to be dissatisfying for them too.
Yeah. Like, what part of the Dalek do you lick to make it come?
See, I don't know. I know one of those words. I know 2 of those words. I know every word but one of those words. Here's the thing. I do love the idea of like doing a brand new series like we've done before. Like that's where we got the ketchup drop.
More ketchup.
I'm Who curious for sure.
Yeah, noted. I think this has been raised in my consciousness a little bit, Mysterious JG. Now back on my mind. Look, once Strange New Worlds breaks, and then I guess we're doing Starfleet Academy after that, and then what?
Yeah.
Then what happens? I think we're going to have some time.
Like, the next season of Strange New Worlds, if past is precedent, is like 3 years away, so who knows?
I feel like Greatest Trek is going to become original series Star Trek coverage. When the spigot runs dry. Kind of have that premonition. And then that frees up Greatest Gen to go back to Star Trek The Next Generation and become a perpetual Star Trek The Next Generation podcast in a way we've always dreamed.
Yeah, the dream is alive.
Yeah.
I mean, this probably isn't the venue to talk about exactly how plans will unfold, but
us? Future plans? No way. Thanks, Mysterious JG. We got a personal priority 1 message here, Ben, from Captain Dakoto. And it is to the crew of the Lexington, or maybe the Saratoga.
Okay.
Here's that message. When you arrive at Trek Trivia Solo, because regular crew mysteriously cancels, what's a hopeless FOD to do? Invite themselves to a 2-person team and roll them dice. And baby, we swept it, collecting a Grand Prix DS9 O'Brien new in box.
Wow.
Without B&A, would we have had the lobes, let alone the loaf? No. Here's to the finest duo in Starfleet.
Wow.
about that? A tale of bar trivia victory.
Snatched from the jaws of bar trivia loneliness. Do you remember the one time we did Star Trek bar trivia, Adam? We went with Danny Baruela. Were you there for this?
I don't think I was.
It was me and Ben Fritz, maybe?
Maybe. Oh, I think I was there. We were at that sausage place in LA, right?
Yeah. And there was the person that won was a solo operator. Like,
you shouldn't be allowed if you're a solo operator.
Yeah. I mean, he was very impressive, but he clearly just came to win and was not like there for the structured fun of pub trivia. He was there for the bragging rights of pub trivia.
Cool.
I love this story.
Great story.
I'm glad some new friendships got forged and some new inbox O'Brien's got distributed. If you'd like to thank your pub trivia team or pitch us on a new series, head to MaximumFun.org/Jumbotron and book that shit today. Hey, Adam.
Tap in.
Did you find yourself an Edward Larkin?
This is going to be controversial because for so many reasons, Anson Mount's decisions as TK Bellows are like broad and weird and fun and funny. But to me, nothing made me laugh louder than Paul Wesley in that sitting room when confronted by the accusation of murder for his take to be, "This can't be happening to me." Like, to Shatner, that reaction was so great. It just killed me. It killed me every time. I fucking love that choice. I love the choice all the actors made in their counterparts in the holodeck, but that one just killed me. I loved it to death. So ordinarily I would say Anson Mount, but I'm going to say Paul Wesley for that moment. What about you?
The amount of camp in Paul Wesley's performance is so high that it really makes me appreciate what a subtle performance he's giving so much of the rest of the time.
Yeah. Like, what's more effortful?
Which is to say, like, not a subtle performance. Like, his Kirk is big. His Kirk is really big. But this is so much sillier and bigger. And, like, that line when Spock and La'an are up on the second level of that reading room, and he goes, "And who is this guy?"
Yeah.
It killed me. He made me laugh out loud multiple times in this episode.
He was really funny. Yeah.
He's also my Edward Larkin.
Hey, how about that?
Well, Adam, every time we start to wrap up an episode of Greatest Trek, my mind always turns to, are our listeners doing enough to spread the word about our show on the internet?
Prepare a buoy and launch it when ready.
Warning buoys.
An emergency buoy. A warning buoy.
Our producer, Wynde, recently shared to the Slack a bunch of nice reviews of our other smash hit Star Trek podcast, The Greatest Generation.
That sounds nice.
And I thought I'd share one of those now. This is from Apple Podcasts in Australia. TJ Homan, or T. Joman, maybe, is the username. 5-star review. Subject line, yeah! Goes like this. I don't know what to say about these good boys in this great show. You'd think all the in-jokes, pulls, and references would be alienating, but they aren't. The bad humor is somehow not. There's so much that shouldn't work, but it does, and that's so rare. The Greatest Generation got me into Star Trek. I've made my way through most of it, not with them, but around them, through them. I can't explain it, but I'm so happy this exists. Wow. One of the reasons I love this Warning Boy segment is a little ego boost, a little pep in my step after every single one of them.
There you go.
Thank you to everyone who leaves a nice review on their podcast app. Are you a Podcast Addict user? Are you a Castbox user? We're going to find them. Wendy's going to find them and put them in the Uxbridge Shimoda Company Slack. You might hear your words coming out of our mouths on an upcoming episode.
Yeah. Wouldn't you like that? I think you would.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Wynde, we're going to leave the rest of this episode in her capable hands. She's going to tell you what's coming up next week, and you're going to want to listen to it. Great voice on the producer of this program.
Yeah, she always nails the Riker maneuver. Every time.
Every fucking time. See you in Vegas.
Yeah. Come say hi, and then after a brief and appropriate amount of time, go about your other business.
Yeah. We don't want to have to put our booth up in dry dock and scour you off.
Greatest Trek is an Uxbridge Shimoda podcast on the Maximum Fun Network. It's hosted by Ben Harrison and Adam Pranica, and it's produced and edited by Wynde Priddy. Next week on the show, Ben and Adam will be back with coverage of Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 5. It's called Through the Lens of Time. In the meantime, we want to say thank you to the many members who are contributing monthly to help keep this show going. Setting up a membership is quick and easy, and you can do it online at MaximumFun.org/join. Members get instant access to all of the new and archived bonus content available there, and we really appreciate your support. Thanks to Nick Dittmore, who created the show art, and Adam Ragusia, who composed the theme music. Thanks to Rob Adler and Bill Tilley for their work on the @GreatestTrek social media pages. Find those accounts and give them a follow, and be sure to use the hashtag #GreatestTrek when you post about the show. Don't forget about the YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed over there, and you can find all the fun merch at podshop.biz or at STLV, where I will see some of you very soon. Thanks for listening. We'll see all of you next week on Greatest Trek.
I'm really thinking about getting some Barnacle stickers and slapping them on folks. We'll know what it means. Hey, you know what? I really like your deal. Here's some free merch for you. Let me just stick that on you. There you go.
Yeah.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows
supported
directly by you.